let the chaos begin. You're listening to Fools Rush In, where the passion and the chaos wins. With a town pride loud within, this is where the game and fun begin. You're listening to Fools Rush In, where the passion and the chaos wins. With a town pride loud within, this is where the game and fun begin. Grab a seat, grab a drink, let the chaos begin. Grab a seat, grab a drink, let the chaos begin. Grab a seat, grab a drink, let the chaos begin. Grab a seat, grab a drink, let the chaos begin. You're listening to Fools Rush In, where the passion and the chaos wins. With a town pride loud within, this is where the game and fun begin. You're listening to Fools Rush In, where the passion and the chaos wins. With a town pride loud within, this is where the game and fun begin.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Monday and welcome to Fools Rush In. On this, the latest deadline day that we have been covering on FRI. This is, I don't even know where we are now, something like our 9th transfer window, possibly even more than that. And what a fine day it has been for Swindon Town. We didn't lose our top goal scorer despite numerous bids, including, reportedly, from promotion rival Salford, who it has just been announced have decided that as they couldn't get Drinan, they would sign someone familiar to our fan base in Prince Will Abachaman. Yeah, it's a like-for-like replacement, that's for sure. Swindon, on the other hand, they have got 3 new additions, including 2 internationals, one of which has joined to try and secure his place at the upcoming World Cup. What does every team need? It needs balance, and that is balance on the pitch. So we've signed the one thing we desperately needed, someone with a left foot. What else does it need? Balance in terms of age and experience. So we have signed a young teenager from a Premier League academy and a veteran attacker who has been at just about every single level that England and Scotland has to offer. If promotion isn't all but secured now, it never will be. We have the transfer window to discuss. We have a victory at the weekend to discuss for the men's team, a roundup of all the women's football, and also a midweek game to preview as well. There is so much, but even with a full agenda, that doesn't mean we cannot have an opening question. And what I would like to know, and this is the thing about the opening questions, not only do you get to find out about us, we get to find out about you. So wherever you are watching, however you are watching, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, X, please do get involved in the live chat, as we would like to know a not so much secret, but kind of a hidden or unknown or something, words to that effect, passion of yours that might not be as publicly known as some of your others. For example, obviously, a lot of people know that the Fools, we're very evident on the screen. You see us all the time. But did you know, for example, I've said how I always wanted to get into journalism, but I've also, particularly since COVID, I've written a few short stories. So that would be mine. They've never been made public, and they absolutely never will be, because I'm certainly not going to be hitting any Harry Potter heights, Lord of the Rings, or 50 Shades of Grey sales figures. So they are purely for my own sanity as much as anything. But I did start one just the other day. So you never know. I might actually complete this one. So that's the question I'll be asking the panel. That is the question I'm asking you. What are some of your secret skills, hobbies, passions that perhaps aren't as publicly well known? Are you a wannabe musician? Do you like photography? Anything like that. Maybe you are a gold medal hopeful at the Winter Olympics, and we just don't know it yet. Hit us up in the chat. While you're sending in those messages in your thousands, I'm sure, let's say hello to tonight's panel. And we're going to start with a man who we didn't think was going to be here because for some reason he was the only one who couldn't use the link. Good evening, Nick.
Look, fat thumbs.
Was it a typing error by chance, mate?
Well, it just might have been.
Do you know what? If it makes you feel any better, you're not the only one to ever have done that. I remember an episode, it's probably about a year ago now, where Wazza was like, mate, what is happening? I cannot get on. This link is not working. And that's because instead of just pressing the link I sent him, he was typing it into his bar and was typing it in wrong.
I know. Well, I have to type mine into the bar because my link doesn't work through Twitter for some unknown reason. It won't work. Computer, isn't it? It's just as somebody said.
Subscriptions for.
Well, as somebody said, these bloody computers are ruining the world.
They're certainly going to take over, that's for sure. Just so you know, as is common practice, there is some Monday Night Football playing in the background. I'll do my best to keep you updated. It's currently Sunderland 2, Burnley 0 in the Premier League, if you're remotely interested. Thomas is here. He's the first one to message in tonight. Good evening. Hope you are well, pal. He says, evening, Fools. My hidden passion is collecting football stickers. I find it extremely therapeutic after a day at work. Now, I'm sure you'll already know this, but I saw on, I want to say Facebook, that the official supporters club, I'm sure it was them, are holding something ahead of a home game, one of the Panini sticker swaps. So please do get in touch with them if you're interested. I know there are lots of people that have been trying to collect the stickers. I know that Swindon hasn't been necessarily the easiest to collect. And I know quite a few Swindon collectors who managed to complete their Oxford stickers first. So by all means, if I can find it, I'll repost it. But I am 95% sure the official supporters club ahead of, I think, the next home game, which will be Oldham on Saturday, are doing a thing in the Legends Lounge, like a sticker swap thing. Don't 100% quote me on that, but I'm sure that is correct. Anyway, Nick, we know that you are a ladies' man. We know that you are an archer. But what is a hidden or kind of secret passion of yours that people might not know about?
Well, during lockdown, I did get into woodworking big time. Made quite a number of things.
Telling us about this, yeah.
But since we've moved, I've not been able to because I haven't got the space to do it, which is a bit of a shame. But to help my good lady out, because she spent pretty much all her married life not only looking after me, but cooking the meals. So, and she was saying the other day, oh, I'm bloody fed up of this, thinking about what to cook, cooking it. It's a real pain in the ass. So in the last few weeks, I've taken on the cooking element.
Ooh.
So I've been cooking the meals, and
do you have a signature
successful.
dish?
Not really. I used the internet, good old TikTok, getting lots of meals off of them.
Of course, you're a TikTok recipe guy.
TikTok. And I set my menu out for the week, and it's worked out quite well. In fact, if you're really interested, I'll tell you next week's menu, shall I? I know everybody will be fascinated.
I'd love to hear next week's TikTok menu.
Right, Friday we got chicken tray. Saturday, because I'm at football and babysitting, we'll just probably have a brunch, egg and bacon, which would be quite nice. Sunday, pork tenderloin. Monday, honey mustard chicken.
Wow.
Tuesday, steak spaghetti. Wednesday, midweek risotto. Steak spaghetti.
Okay.
And Thursday, meatballs.
What's the difference between a midweek risotto and a weekend risotto?
That's just what it's called.
Right. Okay,
you use up all the scraps and just bung it in.
Love it.
Because you can't be asked to do anything different.
I love
so
that.
Yeah, so I've got into cooking. I've got into cooking in the last few weeks. So and I'm really enjoying it, to be fair. So it's good. Yeah.
Well, you let us know when you're ready. We'll send the fools round for a gathering at yours.
Well, that would be good. Yeah.
Dinner for 15 now. Sorry, dinner for 15.
I know. It's just too many people, isn't it? My oven's not that big. That would be panic, wouldn't it?
But I can also say, as one of the larger members of the group, it's not the volume of people; it's also the volume of the individual people that you've got to cater for.
Oh God, yeah. I'll be cooking for 3 days beforehand. Cook it, get it in the microwave, dish it out. There'd be like a.
Oh, what a feast it will be!
It will be.
Let's get someone else on, shall we? And it's a positive day, which means we need our positive panelist. Good evening, Wazza.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are we?
What's that?
Very well, thank you. Say yourself.
Yes, very good, thank you. Yeah,
good.
Positive day, positive weekend, isn't it? It's good to 3 points in the bag, a few signings through the door.
And there we say that we're ready to set sail again, Was?
No, we're not ready to set sail.
Yes.
We've took a beating in the last few weeks, haven't we? But,
no.
Maybe that was our little blip, and maybe we start to full steam ahead again now, maybe.
Titanic hit an iceberg, but it carried on, didn't it, mate?
Exactly, for a little bit.
So you've heard the intro question. We know that you are a dab hand with a golf club. We know that you're handy with a tyre. But what is a secret passion of yours that you care to share with the group?
This is a bit geeky because I'm massively into, you know me.
Mate, hang on. Before you even finish, let's not forget, we are 15 guys who twice a week sit on the internet talking about Swindon. You don't have to prefix it by saying this is a bit geeky.
No, but I love sport. And everything I do is I watch sport. But I was just thinking there and then, I was thinking, what do I do that's a bit like this? So, for example, we were driving back from Brighton on Saturday, and we were coming up the M25 past Heathrow, and you see the planes coming over, and I'm a sucker for the plane finder app. I want to know where that plane's going. I want to know, you know what I mean, what airline it is, and everything like that. And for our sins, Ellen's got it on her phone, and we were coming past Heathrow, and I was going, Ellen, find out where that plane's going. I want to know now. So I'm a bit of a sucker for it, to be fair. Like whenever we're near an airport, I've got like the plane finder app on my phone, and it's a bit of a weird one, but it's one of them. But
that's mate. I love it. Great answer.
I could sort of add to that a bit. My father-in-law was in the RAF. I mean, he's passed away now, bless him. But and he was also worked at Gatwick. Is a flight planner. So whenever we went down to Gatwick to see them or in that area, we'd have to, and Di loves it as well, he could get us into the airport up in the viewing area and watch the planes. And it was like, I mean, I was, okay, whatever. But Di and him just loved it. Oh, yeah. And he could just recognise whatever the plane was as it was going over. Yeah. So I understand what you're saying there.
Yeah. It's one of those.
Not that I want to build upon this thing for you, but you might be interested to know that it's not just plane finder apps that are available. I am informed through work that there are also ship finder apps. And really? Someone that I work with, because there's one item that at the company we work for that we export not from Europe, it comes on a boat. He first downloaded the app just to see where his boat was so he could work out when the delivery was coming. But I now, having spoken to him, know that sometimes of a weekend where I'm doom scrolling through Instagram, he'll just be on his ship app seeing what's happening.
Wow.
Five he found HMS Pistol League yet?
Yes, he found it. Is it still in the port?
It's in Clem's wallet. It's all good. Don't worry.
Oh, it's Australia then. It would take a while.
Mike says, I think Jack Bartham's dad used to manage Luton Airport. There you go.
Look. What have I opened up here now? Everyone's got a plane finder app.
If ever there was a man who was going to have a rogue secret passion, it's our next panelist. Good evening, Ben.
Good evening. How are we today?
You're looking resplendent in your gold trim black training jacket.
I'm celebrating winning the league today. Yeah. So got out my Sunday best.
Before we get into your secret passions, mate, I just want to flash this comment up. And Wazza, this one's for you. Lepo says, evening all, I must compliment Wazza's driving. I encountered him in a tight car park recently, and he gave way, etc. perfectly. I don't think he meant Wazza. Wow. He doesn't give
well
way.
Done, Wazza. Hey, great parking.
It's the problem when you've got a bit of a private number plate, you don't want to look like an arsehole. So it's kind of like you've got to be a bit careful. You know what I mean? So I am very, and because I'm used to driving my sign written van about and everything like that, you've got to be representing the company. And as much as people do frustrate you at times, it's like, you know what I mean? You've just got to sometimes you just got to let it go. And so thank you. That's very nice. Next time, wind down the window and give me some stick or something like that, you know?
Speaking of brand image, and Ben, I'll come back to you for your intro question just a second. But have any of you seen the absolute chaos that's been ensuing between Pepsi and Cola in America? Oh, it's been the funniest shit these last few days. So for anyone who hasn't caught up, I've been loving this on Instagram. So you all know that a few years ago, Coke briefly flirted with having a polar bear as its mascot. So that's well known. Well, the other day, Pepsi released an advert where they had a polar bear with a blindfold on, taste testing a Pepsi Max and a Coke Zero, and the polar bear picks the Pepsi Max. And when he takes his blindfold off, he ends up going to like a psychiatrist that like can't believe it, etc., etc. Well, this doesn't happen in the UK, and I need them to bring brand wars back because in America, Coke have reacted to this. And they've done another one with the polar bear where they put him in the blindfold. And they said, wait, think about what you're doing. Your morals or just a bucket load of cash. And the polar bear thinks about it, ends up picking the Coke, and then it just ends with Coke. You can buy the actor, but you can't buy the taste. And then they've just released another one today where it's just a polar bear waking up, running to the fridge, getting a Diet Coke, and it just says, don't worry, it was all a dream. Honestly, the shit they do in American adverts is sensational. I need brand wars in the UK. It's
You
so
live for
good.
shit like that, Fifey, don't you? You love it.
I do. Lepo says it was at Croft Sports Centre, was it?
Must have been one of Theo's games then, I'd imagine. Yeah, it must have been one of Theo's games.
So Ben, what's a secret or hidden passion of yours?
I have to think about this, and roughly around the year 2000, I was a student and I was studying performing arts, small scale theatre. And during that time, I did a pilot. At the time, Buffy the Vampire Slayer was at its height. And I did a vampire pilot TV show thing. And then I played Trevor the barman. And I had one line. It was in a really dodgy sort of gothic club called Barney's, and Blackpool's all closed down now. And my one line was, "Shit, man, that'd be cool." And I was behind the bar. So yeah, that's what I did. Nothing happened with it, but yeah.
Was it the inspiration between the behind, I should say, the ill-fated but semi-famous lesbian vampire killers?
No, nothing at all involved with that at all. No, auditions were held in the beer engine pub, so it wasn't very high. It wasn't high budgeted or anything like that. It was very cheap.
Mate, if you've seen it, nor was lesbian vampire killers.
Yeah, that's true. Didn't it have like James?
Yeah, it's a James Corden production.
James Corden and the other mate from Thingy, and my memory's so bad. But yeah, that's my secret passion.
What's it called? Benny the Vampire.
Yes, Benny the Vampire Shaggers.
Wow.
Yes, that was Benny the Vampire Shaggers. Great.
Thomas says Salford signing Prince William Batchman after missing out on Drinnan is like celebrating going out with Janet Street Porter after being done by a Kardashian.
Yes, they start with Macquarie Langstaff. Absolutely going to sign Macquarie Langstaff. Going to happen. Going to be a great signing. 10K a week. Didn't happen. So, all right, we'll go for the best player in the league. Let's go for Aaron Drinnan, top scorer in the league. 22 goals, flying. Oh, Swindon told us to go do one. Oh, we've got Princewell. Bless him, Princewell. But yeah, I hope he puts a similar performance in.
I hope he's just as successful there.
That he's just as successful there as he was at Swindon. He did try.
This whole setup here looks very aesthetically pleasing. However, at the moment, everyone wants to be on FRI, and for I think the fourth show in a row, we have at least 5 people. Again, this man definitely has a rogue secret passion, but Fools wouldn't be what it is without him. Evening, Woody.
No, if it's not porn, I'm not watching.
That's not a secret passion, Ben.
How are you, mate? You okay?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Got the sniffles a little bit at the moment, which is going to be great for Joe tomorrow in our 3.5-hour trip to Harrogate.
3.5? You're having a laugh, aren't you?
Yeah, to be fair, mate, I'd expect it to be a lot longer. It took Wasner about 4 to get to Nottingham.
That
was my dad's fault.
Yeah, it's not my fuel though, so I can go a bit quicker. But other than that, I'm good, mate. It was a cold one at training tonight. I thought the weather was supposed to be getting better, but yeah, it's.
I'll tell you what, mate.
Beard.
I said it at work just the other day. Like the days are fine, but the evenings up here are still really cold.
Yeah, that was bitter tonight. Ugh, I had to wear my trousers tonight.
Before we find out about your secret, sorry, Nick, is all this general chit chat keeping you up?
I've had a busy weekend. Sorry.
Before we find out Woody's secret passions, I just want to throw in this one that Lepo sent in. I enjoy carpet scraping. Trust me, it's not a euphemism. Available on Amazon. Human and pet hair, dust, etc. Very satisfying. There you go. So, Woody, you've heard what everyone else is. What's your lesser known secret passions?
Well, this is a lesser known is difficult because I'm not ashamed to talk about any of the stuff I'm into. I'm
not ashamed. We're all sharing with the group.
Well, yeah. and our millions of viewers, I guess. But I was asking Alicia, I said, what do you think it is? And she said straight away, like musical theatre and theatre. And she was like, I bet none of them know that. And I went, I know that Fifey definitely knows I like the trip to a
we've had
theatre.
long discussions about it.
So I'd probably say that that's probably the most hidden one out of them all.
I don't know about the rest of you, but when he said he asked Alicia, I was really starting to panic about what the answer was going to be.
Yeah. Well, she did say dressing up like a woman, and I was like, which boyfriend are you talking about? But no, yeah, either that or I am a massive sucker for castle visits. It doesn't matter how small or big the castle is.
As long as it's a castle.
Similar to Wazza. Wazza has this little plane finder app, which, yeah, obviously, having been involved with planes for so long, it doesn't bother me that, well, aircraft, should I say. It doesn't bother me that side of it. But I am one of those that whenever we go away, I literally will bring up the English Heritage app and find out where the nearest castle is.
Nice.
Just to find, it doesn't matter whether it's a medieval, pre-medieval, even a 17th century, 18th century castle. I want to go see it.
I bet you're right now for Crazy Golf.
Why?
Because there's always a castle at Crazy Golf.
Oh, for God's sake, yeah. Sorry, my dad jokes aren't working. My dad joke brain isn't working today, Fifey. Sorry.
Andy on X says, my hidden passion is collecting mini land monuments, skyscrapers and bridges. Always checking to see when the next skyscraper or bridge is being built. There we go. It's all fascinating stuff that we share. And you never know, asking these sorts of questions, you might find someone with a similar interest as you. Or you might find that your dad jokes just really do not hit the right way. One or the other. We've got a message here. Anthony Hall is raging. He didn't want a cameo from he wanted a camera in the junior toilet.
Clip that.
I love that.
When you should read the comments before you flash them up on the screen.
Is that allegedly?
Allegedly, yeah.
Just in case, clip that.
Well, let's get started. And I suppose today we'll kind of mix about what days we're talking about. It only makes sense to talk about transfer deadline day. In what I think has not just been a successful day overall for Swindon, but pretty much on the whole, a successful window was.
Yeah, well, the proof will be in the pudding, won't it? If we probably haven't seen enough of the ones that have been quite recent, you know what I mean, recently come through, like Middlemass, Borland, and then the 3 we've bought in today. Yeah, and like you summed it up in the intro, we've gone from one end of the spectrum to the other. We're trying to keep everyone pleased, aren't we? Do you know what I mean? A lot of people love the idea of an experienced pro, and Junior Hoylett definitely will bring that. Like you said, he's covered nearly every level in England and probably Scotland now. You just want to see him hit the ground running now. We need them to. We're in a big period for us now in the season and this is going to define where we're going to be. I feel the next 7 or 8 games are going to define where we're going to be. So we need these lads to come in and push the first teamers and really create that competition again that we had at the start of the season, which I feel like has drifted a little bit down to injuries and stuff like that. So fingers crossed that gets that collective all going again. But on the whole, I think it has been a successful window. Unless you've got the money, you're not going to be out there. You've got to dip and dive. You've got to try and find players, loanees, and like the couple that we've bought in today, there's obviously been agreements with their parent clubs to terminate their contracts so we can get them in the door on a permanent, which is good to see. I do think, especially the Hoylett one today, and I wouldn't be surprised with the Man United lad, Holloway does have a big play in who we get here, because we've never seen someone like for a long time, a player come from Manchester United, but that is down to Holloway in my eyes. I really do. I think that when you've got...
Kovar?
Yeah, yeah, look how that one. Yeah, let's not tarnish this young lad yet, please.
But he's not even arrived in Swindon yet.
Look at Kovar now, and he's playing Champions League football. So who's there to laugh? Exactly. So it's one of them, isn't it? But Holloway is a massive draw at this level, and he's probably got contacts at Manchester United, or it wouldn't surprise me if he's got a relationship with Michael Carrick, or what I mean, just something that can draw these players in and make us look like the best option to bring these players to for them to develop. So it's a really good thing. Lepo makes a great comment. I forgot to mention Holman. I didn't think he had the best game at Notts County when we went and saw him, when we went and watched it Tuesday night, but I think he's looked good in the 2 home games that he's come on. So he looks decent. So like I say, we just need them. We needed these players, and we need these players to start and hit it well, so we can put pressure on the first teamers so they know that they've got to perform at their best. So, yeah. But in answer to your question, I think it's been a decent window. Like I say, we can probably judge it in a few weeks' time, because if Junior Hoylett comes in and starts smashing goals and looking like the player that he was, we've got a serious player on our hands. And I know everyone will say, oh, he's 35, as his legs gone.
Well, as a 36-year-old, I can confirm your legs don't go yet.
Yeah. And you look at
my legs are about the only thing that works on me.
You look at like Walsall, I draw that comparison with someone like Albert Adoma, who looks really decent for Walsall at the moment. He comes on and makes some good cameos. And, I don't think we're going to see Hoylett playing 90 minutes, but I think what you will see is that he will give you 30 minutes at the end, or 20, 30 minutes, and he could be that real impact player, or he could start and then you bring him off. So there's loads of options and stuff like that. But I drew straight into that comparison of someone like Albert Adoma. There's still players at this level that at their age can still come in and do a very decent job.
Yeah, I completely agree. Woody, I know the cliche is that football fans are fickle, and there's no matter who they are or what reputation they have, there's not an owner or chief executive or majority shareholder in the world that's ever going to please all the fans. But I'm pretty sure it was you that pointed out earlier, and just sharing a bit of behind the scenes action from the FRI WhatsApp chat, where you pointed out that, I think it was your message, Rich, we need more experience. Swindon sign older player. Rich, he's too old. 5 minutes later, Swindon linked to Man United youngster. Rich, he's too young.
Yeah, I mean, I sometimes I kind of agree with Woz, especially on the older age group, but I think sometimes Holloway is very much of a, if you're good enough, you're old enough, or you're young enough, or whatever. He's very much that type of manager. In fact, I think he said that in one of his post matches before. But yeah, to be fair, I started training. We hadn't signed anybody. Came out of training. We had 3 players. So I only recently just started catching up on who we've signed. But do you know what? I'm not disappointed with the Hoylett signing, because I think, now this is going to sound harsh, because I wanted him to do well, but he is a different kind of level of expectation to someone like Billy Bowden, because Hoylett's been there. He's he's almost pretty much been at the top of the game, and then he's he's not going to just, it'd be a little bit off the pace, but he's not going to be completely off the pace in the fact that he's been a seasoned pro at good levels of the game for so long. Yeah. I actually think, dare I say it, because again, I was quite happy with the Billy Bowden signing initially, but I feel that he is going to be that impact player that we might be looking for on a, like Wazza said, kind of that 30 to 40 minute basis. So, and I know we had Kovar, which is probably a separate issue, but Man United, regardless of how much they are a bit of a banter club nowadays, their academy is brilliant. It doesn't matter. You look at their results in their academy; they're brilliant. So for me, getting any player from there is a coup. And another player that comes from an academy with singing reputations. And I know I get Rich's point around youngsters, but we got to think about it. Finley Monroe came from academy. We got Wilson Brown's from an academy. It's all those players haven't exactly done very bad for us, have they? Do you know what I mean? So it's whereas the seasoned pros are probably the ones that haven't been the stars and shining lights, so to speak. So it's no, I'm excited. I don't know much about the Batty lads from Blackburn personally, but But it's yeah, I think we got a good mixture. For me, it was all about positional. For me, I think it was more about getting bodies in certain positions in certain areas rather than how old or experienced they were. I don't buy the argument. I think you mentioned it on Friday, Fifey, or no, it might be Nick mentioned it, that our average age of our squad isn't actually that young. When you look at the starting 11, most weeks it's easily kind of mid-20s. So we haven't got a young side. We haven't got a young squad, and especially when you think some of our best players are our younger ones anyway. So yeah, I think it's good business. Best business though, probably keeping hold of the likes of Aaron Drinan and things like that. So yeah, but brilliant. And by the sound of it, Michael
Isn't going to Brazil.
it isn't going to Brazil. So yeah, brilliant. Anyway, so that's the transfer
Well,
window for me.
luckily for you, Woody, obviously Junior Hoyler is a name we all know. But as you're saying, the lad from Blackburn, Batty, is possibly a bit lesser known. But for the likes of me and you, who may not be as aware as perhaps we should be of our new signings, Ben has done his best Ned impression to get all the facts and figures you need to know about our new signings. So, Ben, for anyone who doesn't know, fill us in of the pedigree of our new left wing back.
Oh, he's all right. Jake Batty, well, he was Young Player of the Season at Accrington, wasn't he, last year? So he impressed there. Played 20-odd games, I think. So I'd imagine he probably would have joined them halfway through the season rather than the whole season. He was a popular figure. He's an attacking wing back, good left foot on him. He's all right. Yeah. Go on YouTube if you want to see highlights. But yeah, it's pretty good. There you go.
There you go, Woody. You should feel a lot more informed now.
I could be a scout, you know. There's in-depth tactical awareness description there. That's what I should be.
Nick, when you look at the transfer window as a whole, especially with what's happened today, how do you feel? Are Swindon equipped for it? Let's still call it the second half of the season. It is more or less, give or take a game or two. Do we have the resources to cope with, our captain being banned for 50% of games, our defenders constantly being injured, that kind of thing?
100%. I said from the start. I said it at a live show at the county ground. We will win the league, and I'll stick by that. We will win the league. We are in a great position to do that. Don't worry about where we actually are in the table. Just look at the points and the games we've got coming up. Now we've got 3 players in, none out. Gives him plenty of options. The only negative to that is keeping everybody happy and getting the right mix and the blend on the pitch on the Saturday, Tuesday. But again, Holloway's experienced enough to do that. And I'm sure he's got the right players in that will give us that push. So, and I know we knocked them in. We all moan and groan about how the club's run. You can't knock what they've done today. So fair play. 3 extra players in through the door. I say I'm not totally all over. Is it 1 loan in 2 signed? I'm not sure.
Yeah, 1 loan, 2 perms.
Well, that's brilliant, isn't it? I mean, to get 2 perms in the door, even if it's just to the end of the season, they're rare players, and they'll give us that extra push. So I couldn't be more delighted. As I say, I'll stand by it now. We will win the league. 100%.
And whilst just building off that, when you think about the rest of the window as a whole, obviously we spoke about things that have happened. Losing Monroe was a blow, of course, but the only other player to leave as such was Tabor going out on loan. We've signed Kilkenny up to longer terms. We've kept Drinan. You like Nick says, you can't really complain this January.
No, it's. I don't, like Woody said as well. You kept the players. You think when these players start to get fit again, the likes of your Butterworths and your Bodins and they're all saying they're back out on the grass or close. You don't know where this. You know what I mean? The squad is massive now, isn't it? When you look at it, And I was surprised because normally you would find that there might have been maybe a couple more. Normally there's that balancing act, isn't there? That if you're bringing 3 in, there's normally 2 or 3 that have got to go out the door to make that happen. But yes, it is that they've put their eggs in the basket for this season, haven't they? And they've given Holloway the tools, and it's whether I'm not as ballsy as Nick. I definitely would. A few weeks ago, I was. These games were massive, and it was a shame that we lost all 3. But it's one of those that I don't care as long as we're in one of those top 3 positions. That's all I want. I don't want to go. The playoffs are great when you win them, or if you win them. But then they're blooming heartache if you don't. So just give me any of those top 3 positions. I personally think, going completely off subject, I think Bromley could be a hard one to pull back now. I really do. I think they could be tough. I think they could be a tough one.
The gap's 10 points between us and them. We do have a game in
I
hand,
think that could be a real tough. I think they've got to go on a serious downfall, and we've got to go on a massive spree and win, which I don't doubt that we could do that. But I just can't see Bromley. They're not that team that are going to get worse through these sort of winter months, are they? If anything, they benefit at this time of the year because they've got their style of football and everything like that. But give me one of the top 3 positions. I don't care if it's third. I just want to get out of this league. And if that means that we get into third on the last day of the season, all well and good. The party's on.
Ben, I don't want to sour the mood at all, but if I have aspirations of being an actual journalist one day, I should ask balanced questions, focus on both sides of the argument. Is there, I don't want to say a danger, I don't like the term danger, but is there also a feeling maybe that, yes, Clem has backed Ian Holloway, and rightly so, he's earned the right to be backed, but is there a kind of feeling with the size of squad that's been assembled, some of the names that we've got within that squad, it's kind of a this year or bust kind of effect? Because we do seem to have, we've not only got the biggest size squad we've had in many a year, but vastly more experience, vastly more recognised names. Just looking through it, you look at the likes of Tafazorli, Bowden, Clark, add into that the likes of Junior Hoylett, etc. now. Does it have that feeling about it?
To some extent, in years gone by, we're used to like a complete squad overhaul when things have gone badly, that we kept out of a squad of 23 or 24, we've kept 5 players. Next season, whether we go up or down, the players that are contracted to Swindon, about 80% of them also are contracted for at least 2 years, some 3 years. So if they do leave, which some will, we've got to say it'd be hard to keep players like Brennan, Kilkenny. There's quite a few that hard to keep hold of. They probably will go on, but they'll go for some cash. So at least we've got something to soften the blow a little bit and maybe retain some players and get different players in. So I don't think it's like there'll be all complete change, but yeah, it's like any season. If you narrowly miss out, then when you're in League 2, you're open with your better players are there to be henpecked through bigger clubs who will play at a higher level. So I wouldn't say, it's not cash or bust, but I think, we have got a bit of security with players with longer contracts. So we will, we will get some return on the players that do leave. There will be some that leave. I don't think it will be as painful or as big as changes we've seen in previous years, though it would be hard to see us go as hard next season as they have this season, because they've well and truly smashed their let's go for it this year. I can't see Clem doing that 2 years running. So I don't think we'll have a better opportunity than this season to go up. If we don't go up, it's going to hurt because we need to be going up.
Woody, when I ask this next question, I fully accept that we're not prime Barcelona of the 2000s and 2010s, but when you look at the squad that's now been assembled, does it still have a clear and obvious weakness within it?
No, I think our weakness is our consistency more than anything. I don't think we necessarily... I'd be hypocritical because I said before Christmas that I felt that our defence was where it needs to be now. I felt that we've got good. If you had to pick anything, you'd probably say it is our defence because of how leaky we've been of late. But at the same time, we've the consistency of until Saturday, what 3 or 4 below par performances or below par in comparison to the opposition. So, no, I think genuinely, and I don't mean this in an arrogant way that we're going to go ahead and win the league, but you
Get
got to
ready to
look
set
at
sail, was.
you got to look at the whole squad and go, well, we got a first team, we got 2 first team players in every position. Do you know what I mean? Like we
Yeah.
you know, we could put out in the nicest way, we could put out a B team and it would still be a competitive team.
Yeah.
And for me, that's a perfect scenario. And like Nick said, you know, I'm always curious about where the money's come from, but at the moment, the money is paying for 2 first teams in one squad, so I can't complain too much. We ain't going to see in the nicest way, Danny Gonzalez and things like that. They're not going to be on the bench much more this season, are they? So I don't think many League Two teams are in that position.
No, that's fine. Does anyone have anything else specifically they want to say on the transfer market before we move on at all?
Just well, not so much on the transfer market. Just pick up on what. Obviously, I've said we're going to win the league, and just picking up on what was said about Bromley being too far ahead. We talked about it the other day. Their last 5 fixtures will tell where they finish. They play Walsall, Salford, Cambridge, Colchester, and MK. That is a hell of a finish to the season.
That's a dreadful running.
That is do or die for them. Now, if they get through that, fair play to them. They deserve it.
What, did you say that's their next 5 or their last 5?
No, their last 5.
Well, they might already be sewn up by then.
No chance.
They could quite comfortably, if they carry on the way that they're going, by the time they get to those last 5, they could have guaranteed themselves automatic promotion.
I don't know. That's another 15 points. That's a lot. That's my view of it. I think that those last 5 fixtures, I think that could kill them. And if they do it, hands up, they deserve it without a doubt.
What I will say,
I agree. Sorry, Ben.
I'd say what we'll say, Bromley, is they can't have a big budget, so they can't have a deep squad. At the moment, they've got momentum, they've got key players fit. Well, I'd say like Michael Cheek goes down next week. That's a lot of goals for them. And do they have the depth to cover him? And, you know, what happens when they do lose 2 or 3 in a row and players do lose a bit of form? Do they have the squad rotation? So I think there's still some questions about Bromley, but they're doing fantastic at the moment.
There's you can't question.
I agree. I think I agree. I kind of agree with Woz. I think the automatic spots are theirs to lose, but almost. However, Cambridge are a game in hand, and if they win that game in hand, they're only 3 points behind Bromley. And bearing in mind that Cambridge haven't lost a game for 14 games now.
Been an insane
form.
14 games. So yeah, it's but I think Bromley are just one of those teams that you know, there's always one, isn't there? There's always one. I mean, we wouldn't expect them necessarily to be top, but there's always one team that just find a way to win. And I think, yes, Cheek's a lot of goals, but we got to bear in mind that we've not had Aaron Drynham for 4 games or 5 games this year or whatever it is. And we were still finding ways to score goals when he wasn't there. So I think they have got goals elsewhere. I mean, they got the second best goal difference in the league. And that won't all be Cheek. That'll be I think they got decent defense. They didn't lose very, very often. So yeah, I can see Nick's point that I don't think the top spot's theirs. Like, it's not theirs to lose, but I do think that they are in such a good opportunist point now because they're on level games with MK Dons and they're 8 points ahead of them. So yeah, it's just one of those. But who knows? With Cambridge putting that form together at the moment, if we pick up that form, I do think there will be, in my opinion, I think with about 5 games left, we'll have a winner of the division. But I do think that second, third, fourth place, they potentially could go down to the last couple of weeks, in my opinion. But yeah, I do think one team will start to pull away, I think, at one point.
On the subject of new signings, it's not quite the same, but it will feel like one. Deluxe 976's Night LaBelle coming back. He's class, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
very
sure he'll
good
be back for
player, yeah.
tomorrow. I think Oldham is the one he's kind of penciled in for. Matt asks Ward in goal tomorrow. No, yeah, hang on.
Could be Wardy.
Yeah, Ripley's
Still
Yeah,
Wardy.
he is. Yeah, Ripley's not in
Is that
tomorrow.
is that been confirmed or is it?
It's
Not
still-
confirmed.
That's
it's
what's been
possible.
reported.
Yeah.
You'd understand Ripley not wanting to play if his daughter's in hospital, to be fair.
No.
Yeah, well,
Um,
fair enough, isn't it? Ward,
on the-
Ward hasn't let us down, has he?
No. Wardy's
Of course.
perfectly fine.
Of course, sending our very best to the entire Ripley family.
Yeah,
Yes.
100%.
Absolutely.
We had a question in earlier, just before we talk about the football that is being played. I think it was from Pete. I'm just scrolling back up to find it. Yeah, I did flash it up earlier. Do we need the distraction of the EFL trophy if we're going full tilt for promotion? Yes, we do.
Yes, we
Because
do. We want the double.
We want to
the double.
lift. We want the double. We want trophy. We want the trip to Wembley. And as we said, with such a big squad, it's extra opportunity for some of these players to play. So if the EFL ever decide to get their act together and actually release a statement, we know what you want to do, but you're just not going to fucking do it. So let us sell our tickets for Plymouth. Let us play our game. Let us win our trophy. Stupid idiots.
All right,
Joe's
Ian.
here. Evening, Joe.
All right, Ian.
Ripley is a doubt. Depends what happens with his daughter. Yeah.
There you go.
Let's talk about the weekend then. Much needed victory for Swindon Town, and basically everything that we've been talking about finally seemed to come together. From what I can gather, I mean, Ben, let me start with you. What was your overall takeaway from the game?
Slow start. You could tell that we probably were a bit tetchy because of the previous form. You know, four defeats, 3 league, 1 in the FA Cup on the spin. So there's going to be a bit of nervousness. The goal we conceded was another poor set play goal, a typical goal that we've been conceding over the last few weeks. And there's a few eye rollings, and here we go again. And you know, a little bit concerned. I think it was important to get another goal back. I didn't think we actually looked truly ourselves again until we went 2-1 up. And then we started, looking slick, and the football was quite good. And we started looking our old selves again. Partly because obviously, Barrow were leaving players up top trying to get an equaliser. But I think you could see the confidence flood back into them. It wasn't a performance to write home about, but it was competent. It was good against a Barrow team I was surprised about as well. I generally thought they would come to park the bus and just take a point, especially with the form they've been in. But they actually came to have a go and tried to take 3 points out of us, which is credit to them actually. So I probably should give them a little bit more credit and that they deserve. I thought they would just try and spoil the game, and they didn't. So yeah, it was an all right game to watch, and the right result. I think 3-1 was about fair in the end.
Was a brace for Drinan, a man who me in particular have been calling out in recent weeks for his performance levels. He seems somewhere back to kind of what I've been saying about him, though, and quality finish as well.
I've been in your camp, mate. I remember me and you at Notts County. We were absolutely fuming. So, a lot of people's argument against when we were moaning about him was that he wasn't getting the service. So they've probably countered us with Saturday because he got the service and he scored his goals. I was watching some of the highlights because I wasn't there on Saturday, but it looked like the Drinan that we've been used to. He looked busy. He looked like he was running the channels, that he was getting on the ball. I totally agree. I thought his finish was an absolute class finish, the first one. And the second one is just where you want your strikers to be. It's great to see. I'm always going to mention Palmer. Great to see Palmer score. I think that was a great finish.
That's a great finish as well, yeah.
Great finish. And I think I said this last time I was on. There was fruits of a partnership beginning to link. And I know we've been saying recently that they can't play together. And I sort of countered that by saying that they need to play together. And from what I saw on Saturday and from what I heard, there was a good few bits of link up. I saw a big chance in the second half where Drinan squared it to Palmer and they've cleared it off the line. And there was a good bit of link up. And if we're going to want to finish where we're going to be, those two are going to be pivotal to that. So it's, you know what I mean, very, very good. It's great to see Drinan back, you know what I mean, after a bit of a, I wouldn't say a dry spell, but you know what I mean, performances from a lot of the team haven't been great the last few games. So the most important thing for me on Saturday was the 3 points. I was away down in Brighton for the weekend, and I was Ellen could tell, she was going to me, "What's up with you? Your mood suddenly changed." And I said, "Well, we're still not winning." And she could sort of tell when we'd scored, because I suddenly completely changed my mood when that second goal went in. It was a massive 3 points, like, to stop the rot. The results weren't going our way on Saturday. You know what I mean? All the teams around us were winning. And at one point when we were drawing, we weren't even in the playoffs, lads. Do you know what I mean? That's how you know what I mean? It was falling off. So you've got to give the squad credit. There was, you know what I mean? They showed a lot of guts against, well, like Ben said, a team like Barrow that didn't come and just to sit and spoil the party. I thought that, you know what I mean, they had a couple of chances after they scored their first goal from set pieces that they could have quite easily gone maybe 2 up and took the lead again. But it was very important for us to get that goal back before half time. And then I thought we looked totally dominant in the second half. We created some big chances, some big opportunities. We had some better performances from some of our...
Microwave is going off.
No, sorry. Sorry, it's my washing machine. It's just...
I didn't know who it is, because I've only got one working here, so I can't tell if it's in here or not. So I've got no sound.
You'll stop in a minute, it's fine. I will go and smash it if I need to. It was a massive 3 points for me. It didn't matter how it came. But yeah, big 3 points. Good to see our strikers getting on the score sheet, and we'll come on to Harrogate later, obviously. But you know what I mean? It's just the start. We need to go on some sort of run here. So definitely need to.
Well, speaking of things building, Nick, we can't be the only show not to give him his own airtime. People online are running out of superlatives to discuss Mo's performance. I mean, he was given man of the match. I've seen the comment here saying I was running rings around Barrow's defence. Everything just seemed to go well. And I know as part of Holloway's post-match rant, he said how they had to change their approach to the game. But if one thing, it seemed to work because he excelled at the weekend.
Well, at last we've got somebody with pace that can get down to the byline and cross the ball in. And certainly I've said it a number of times that we haven't had that. Monroe was great at going down the wing and crossing balls in, but we didn't have players getting right to the byline, pulling the ball back, then having forwards coming onto it. And yeah, he was absolutely superb. You know, you couldn't fault his effort, his skill, his crossing, his passing. It was absolutely brilliant. And I don't know, was that his first full game from the start? I'm not quite sure.
Did he not play 90 against Luton?
He started
first league start.
So
it was superb.
Right, and looking for praise, look at this comment.
He didn't have the pace, but he did have the skills.
I mean, let's see what he does
Tuesday night. Exactly. You know, praise him for what he did. He can't afford everything he did. But with the game overall, I know there were lots of moans about we were poor in the first half, and we didn't. I actually quite enjoyed the game all the way through. And as Ben said, Barrow, they actually played in patches, some actual decent football, some decent passing movements without really creating too much. But they did come and try and play, you know, a bit of football on the ground, which is probably what a lot of people weren't expecting. But once we got into our stride and got the equaliser, it was only going to go one way. And I thoroughly enjoyed the game, and I thought we were well deserving the victory, and we're in a position now to push on from it. So yeah, it was great.
Again, Ben, without wanting to distract from what is a large amount of positives, in the interest of balance, I can only speak for the highlights. I know you were there; you might have a different perspective on this, but the moments, it did seem like we were still a little bit suspect defensively. Not usually one that I would point out, but again, from just the bits I've seen, I didn't think Wilson Brown was up to his usually high standard. I thought he had a bit of an off day. Do you think that's just the nature of, because we are, I think, still okay, we're not a 6 up front team like last year, but we're still a team who want to attack. Do you think this is just the nature of our style of play, that you can't be full flowing in attack and rock solid at the back? Something has to give, and maybe we have to just accept our defensive acumen and attributes maybe aren't quite as high as our attacking?
I think when we've got full complement of defenders, it can be very good. I think we went for a spell of being extremely tight at the back. We do commit players going forward, and we do have a lot of attack-minded players. But you're right. For the first, I was a little bit late arriving, but for the first 10 to 15 minutes, I think we looked really suspect. I think we looked quite nervous, and I think we gave the ball away in silly areas. Didn't think the ref helped much. Their first goal, their build-up, and Nick will know this, and I had to be in my bonnet about this. The build-up for their first goal, Nichols gets swiped, gets his legs taken out of him. It's pretty bundled over. It's a free kick all day long. But yeah, there was an edginess to Swindon, and they really needed that equaliser quickly, because the longer it stayed at 1-0, the harder it would have got to equalise. And there was an edginess with the fans as well. We didn't get, Hollow was right, we didn't get on their backs, but it was very kind of quiet after they scored a little bit, and it's just a little bit, oh dear. Luckily, they responded quickly and the fans picked up again. But I think they need a couple of clean sheets. I think they need a couple of wins to get behind them. And I think once we get on the roll of winning games, then the clean sheets will come, and then I think confidence will come, and I think we'll look better, and players will be a lot. They do things without thinking. Then things become autopilot, and they do things quicker. And there's no hesitation anymore. They won't look for the safe thing. It all comes together once you start winning games. We've only won one. We've got to go to Harrogate and win there. If we go drop points at Harrogate again, there'll be all sorts of fingers pointing at each other again. So we've only won one. So it's the start of the recovery, but it's only one step.
Yeah.
So but it will get better. Hopefully.
I've seen a couple of comments there from people which I wasn't aware of. Apparently, Wilson Brown have been playing with food poisoning as well, which isn't.
I didn't know that.
Well, that's crazy. That's ridiculous if that's true, because you got Mabetti was on the bench. Why are you putting a bloke in the side who's suffering from food poisoning when you've got Mabetti, who's been one of our best centre backs? That's just ridiculous.
Good point. Yeah.
To answer Deluxe's question, yes, it will be on Sky Sports Plus tomorrow night. Woody, you know that I'm not a subscriber to the notion as such, while I can understand the thought behind it. However, we have got the win at the weekend. Me and you have spoken about, in recent weeks, this run of fixtures. We're now coming out of the on paper more difficult, and to paraphrase Ben, into the more favourable on paper. The fact that we've got the positive result in the first one, do you think this is a building block now for what's to come in the days and weeks ahead?
As the lads have said, the most important thing above anything else was a result on Saturday. I can, even if you look at the stats, Barrow 15 shots, us 15 shots. It's, I think the wealth of confidence that will give a squad that have just gone through the rut that we have is huge. And even from a defensive point of view, you're talking about a team that have conceded 11 goals or whatever in the last 5 games.
Yeah.
And then to only concede 1 is actually an improvement of some sort, ironically. When, as Ben said, we've got a bit of a fractured defence at the moment. So, but yeah, I think it's going to, it's definitely going to lift them a little bit. As Ben said, it will all go out the window if we don't get a result tomorrow night. I mean, I think, again, unfortunately, I know it's Harrogate away, and plus because I'm going, but I think we need to win it. Is another. I mean, every game's a must-win for me, but that is enough. We have to win these games now. Is we if we had picked up maybe 6 out of 9 or whatever in the tougher period, then yeah, these little trips to Harrogate might not have been as big. But unfortunately, and that's no disrespect to Harrogate, because they are, despite them being where they are, they're never an easy team to beat at their own patch, especially probably on a Tuesday night. But it's these games suddenly become the big wins, the ones that we must win. I don't know how many of the new signings are allowed to play tomorrow, but I think it's 1, isn't it? Is it Scanlon? So he might have quite a big impact in terms of us rotating and what we do with that midfield. Obviously, you very much doubt he'll start, but obviously I wouldn't be surprised if he comes off the bench at some stage. But yeah, it's as I think maybe Ben's adjective of favourable might be the right one, but yeah, for me at the moment, there's no easy side to beat. I've said this many times. There's no easy side to beat in this league, and I think whilst it's obviously, apart from Bromley's horrible last 5 fixtures, we have got an opportunity, and I liked Nick saying that on Friday, that we've now got this opportunity to take advantage of the fact that we are playing sides that are lower than us in the table and aren't competing for us. We're not there. We're not a must-win for some of those middle place teams, because they might be comfortable with a draw, or they might be, because we're obviously one of the promotion candidates. So yeah, it's it will do us a world of good. 3 goals. I mean, Drinan and Palmer being on the score sheet is great, because if we look at the last couple of weeks, those are the 2 players that have split the fan base easily. I think it's split the panel in terms of performances. So that would do them a world of good. And I even think that players that have fallen off their pedestals a little bit, like your Tom Nichols. I understand he didn't play particularly well on Saturday again, but maybe this player could this midfield sign in, and that might give him a little bit of a push, or or even it gives him an opportunity to maybe have a couple of games, because he does have in my opinion, leading up to that, he had quite a heavy role in terms of off the ball, especially. So maybe he's one that does need a little, game and a half off the pitch or something. So
there's no excuse now in this Saturday-Tuesday period. We've got the squad;
I agree.
it's big enough. There's no.
Well, we might not be playing on one of them.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, yeah. But there's no excuse, is there? Like you look at the fixture list now, and you look at it, and you think, God, we still got like Saturday, Tuesday. Then we got potentially Newport next Wednesday. It depends what happens with the Virtue Trophy. Then we've got another Saturday game and Barnet, and on a Tuesday night. So. But there's no excuses. You know what I mean? There's no, they're tired, or there's jaded. The only one I probably allow it to, because I just feels like he plays every week for us, is Gav Kilkenny. Like, he would probably be the only one, but he's so instrumental to what we do that that he does, and he's fit as a fiddle, that he just plays, doesn't he? But there's no excuses, and I agree with Woody, as horrible as this sounds, and I don't want it to be arrogant. Tomorrow's a must-win game. It's huge. Like it is. Like you just, with the point that if you would have got something at Notts County, or not lost the game at home to Salford in the league, maybe these games you can get away with a draw or something like that. But these are pressure games coming up now, because it's all on us, and the impetus is on us to win these games, because we've got to. So it's massive. It's massive, and it started on Saturday against Barrow. That it was a huge 3 points, but it's only just the start. We've got to start winning these games. We've got the squad. We've got there's no excuses. If one goes out injured or suspended, another one's there ready and waiting to come straight in. So there's no excuses in my eyes now. We always used to make that comparison, didn't we, when we had a paper thin squad, that we always used to say, oh God, it's tough Saturday, Tuesday. Not anymore. There's no excuses. There's nothing. If you lose a couple of players, there's still people to come in and to take on the mantle and do it. But we've got to be winning these games. I think I'd go as far as saying we've got to win Tuesday, we've got to win Saturday. Your home games become much more vital now in this second half of the season. And it's just got to happen. If we want to be where we are at the end of the season and we want to be right up there, we've got to be winning these games of football. And I totally get that there's not an easy game at this level, because there isn't. And I think Harrogate, who are fighting for their lives, will probably be the harder challenge. If you put the two games on paper, Harrogate tomorrow, even though they're bottom, or maybe Oldham on Saturday, you probably edge towards the fact that even though Harrogate are lower in the league, they've probably got a bit more to play for. I'm not saying that Oldham are completely out of a relegation battle, because they're probably not. But they're that mid-table side that, that might come to try and spoil the party rather than go for 3 points. So it's one of them. But it's just adding on to what Woody said. These are massive games coming up now, lads. These are huge.
Just ahead of talking about tomorrow's game, I've seen Pete's comment, and I saw the post on socials last week ahead of Notts County, and I've heard all the fans talking about it. The last time Swindon won on a Tuesday night away was the 4-3 at Accrington.
Sorry, Woody.
I just want to remind everyone that this run is purely Woody's fault.
Yeah.
This is entirely Woody's fault. It's not Holloway. It's not the players. It's entirely Woody's fault. And I remind you this because he said ahead of the opening game of the season, our squad is so strong, I can foresee us going the whole season without losing a midweek game.
Well done, Woody.
Hashtag Woody out.
Hashtag enjoy that long drive tomorrow.
Yeah, enjoy the long drive, wouldn't you, Woody? Now, we're definitely winning tomorrow because the man that said it is travelling all that way to go and watch them on a Tuesday night. You could have saved us at Notts County if you turned up, Woody.
Yeah, what a joker.
I was just checking the weather up, by the way. It says it's going to be cold, possible snowy, to wrap up warm as well.
While you were talking there, and this kind of encompasses everything you guys have been saying for the last hour. I know I have probably missed at least one name here, but I think it was Woody made the point that we've got 2 first-team players in every position. I just want to very quickly run you through this. Rickley and Ward, Knight, LaBelle and Wright, Wilson, Brown and Mabete, Tafazorli, Clark and Ball, McGregor and Snowden, Batty and Kirkman, Nichols and Borland, Kilkenny and Middlemass, Drinnan and Moe, I can't even read my writing here, Holman and Scanlon, Palmer and Hoyler. 2 players at every position. And bearing in mind, I've got an extra player now. I've got about 13 players on the pitch.
You've got Billy Bowden, Danny Burtworths, and all them to come back.
Old Acre.
Old
Acre.
Super Old Acre.
I think with the signings also, I think the key one coming back is Knight LaBelle. We've missed him dreadfully.
You would have thought that earlier in the season.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, he. What was happening Saturday when they scored and just after, we were losing every ball in the air in that penalty area from corners. We hardly won a header, which when you look at the size of our defenders is bloody criminal. But Knight LaBelle coming back into the side whenever he gets back in and he starts, I think that's a critical. It'll be like for me a new signing. And that will give us a real boost to have him back in the side.
Okay. Well, as we say, the games come thick and fast when you're Swindon. We don't know yet what we're doing next midweek because the EFL are too scared to make a decision. But we do have a game tomorrow, as we said, live on Sky Sports Plus. Woody, as you've mentioned a couple of times already, you are travelling to the game tomorrow. So let's start with you. What are you hoping to see?
A win.
Yep.
That'll do.
That'll do. Yeah, no, I think I don't really know, to be fair. I mean, will he keep the same lineup as Saturday just gone, and then just replace him as they start to tire? I'd like to see that, but I don't think he will. I think he's probably already had a planned rotation in mind. I just think we got to go in kind of with a positive, not try to nick it 1-0. I generally think we need to go there with the intention to score a few goals, because we know, even though it did obviously get better on Saturday, we are still fragile defensively, and we will still be fragile defensively for the next few games, because we've just gone on a run of conceding a lot of goals. So whilst we're trying to get Knight Labelle back in, whilst we're trying to get Mabete, I guess, back in, I'm expecting us to be a very attacking. We've got the players there to do it now. I'd like to see them unleash the shackles off Mo again, because it sounds like that's exactly what happened on Saturday, that he was just given.
I like that Mo's taking off. More and more people are calling him Mo now.
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm not going to lie. I'm not bothered about keeping a clean sheet. Again, for me, it's just the old cliche. I just want to score more goals than them. If we win 2-1, 3-1, I'll be happy. I'll be just as happy with that as if we win 1-0. In fact, I'll be happier, because 1-0 I'll probably be fucking on my tether hooks all the way through the rest of the game. So yeah, get a couple of goals. Let's get, if we can get Drynan and Palmer singing again, that'd be great. If we can get one of the new lads, as in one of the new lads throughout the whole window, not just today. If we can get one of them on the score sheet again, fantastic. But yeah, it's that's all I want, really. And I don't think Holloway is going to go out there to settle for a draw. I think he knows, as Waz has said, I think he knows how important this game is. He's, especially because of our run leading into Saturday.
Tranmere Rovers have just announced Stephen Negro has signed on loan from Oxford. He was in League Two, was it last year? One of the top defenders in the league, I think. So huge signing for them. Ben, I know only one of today's new additions can play tomorrow. Are you expecting much of the way in changes from Saturday?
No, probably probably similar to the same squad. I think we've got Borland's coming back. I think he's fit again, so he'll come back into the fold. I think is it Scollin? I think it's Scollin. I think he'll come on second half. Scannon, but I think we'll see largely. You might see a tinker around for a couple of players. You might see a new keeper. But yeah, I think Swindon will go largely the sort of same lineup, and then look to change it about midway through the second half, as they usually do. But I think Scanlon is actually, he's a winger stroke number 10. I think one of the biggest problems, and Nick mentioned this the other day, actually watched the game, is Oldacre's a bit slow in transition once he gets the ball.
That's the understatement of the century.
Yeah. And so I think this lad's obviously going to try and move it about a bit quicker. And he's a bit more direct as well. So quite excited to see how he does. And then it's a big one on Saturday against Oldham. But first things first, let's get 3 points Harrogate.
Mike asked a great question. Is Clark not back? Your guess is as good as anyone else's, Mike.
No, I think he is back. I think Clark is back.
The irony of the whole situation is Clark only seems to be allowed to play on Tuesdays. He's not allowed to play on Saturdays.
But he'll come. He'll probably get straight at the ball, actually, won't he, in midfield? Yeah, that probably is one change.
Ben, he's probably likely to replace Nichols because he didn't have a great game and he got injured during the game. He might. So he's probably the one that are likely to be rested.
Which I quite like the idea of Clark and Ball away from home, sort of battlers, especially a team against Harrogate that are going to make it difficult. In midfield, going to be physical. I think you want to win your battles before you can play your football. So I'm not against Ball and Clark in the centre.
Is Ball not still injured?
Ball.
Oh, Ball. Sorry, Ball and Clark.
Ball. Yeah, sorry. It's very Clark is right. But Borland should hopefully be on the bench because he said in the press that his knee's fine, but we'll see.
Okay. Borley's a striker now, says Scott. Pete asking, will Mabete start? That's another fantastic question.
Yeah,
Should.
fine, yeah. Should start. We all love Mabete. Number one.
What can we expect from our hosts? It's always a difficult game, isn't it? Playing Harrogate. They're a team who will, I think it was Ben said just a few moments ago, that they will have their game plan set. They'll know what they're trying to achieve. They'll know how they're going to try and achieve it.
Yeah, they're probably looking at this game. Not that it's against us, but they're probably thinking it's a bit of a free hit for them. That Swindon are coming, and it's one of those for them. They're getting to a point. I'm just looking at the table now. They're 5 points from safety, and both the teams directly above them have got a game in hand on them. So it's getting to a point for them now where they're going to have to start winning games. So, you know, I mean, I don't think a draw is any good for any team tomorrow. So it could be quite an entertaining game, but both teams going for the win. It could be one of those that it's going to have to be for them. It's going to be make or break for them soon. Do you know what I mean? They're going to have to start picking up some points. I think they've been on a bit of they've been on a dreadful run. Do you know what I mean? I think the last 12 games I think they've drawn 2 and lost the rest. So I'm hoping that we're not going to be the team that turns up and finally Harrogate have a game of their life. Sorry, Woody. But
we will blame Woody though. So if we do fail to win, you'll leave Woody up there.
Yeah, but
hashtag blame Woody.
Well, we do have someone who wants to help us celebrate a new signing, but before we do, let's find out how confident you are for tomorrow. Nick, a score prediction, please.
3-0. Straight off, 3-0.
Love that, Ben.
4-0.
4-0. Now this is confidence. Where's this coming from?
I do think we'll win. I don't think it'll be as clear as cut as that. I think I could see us scoring goals, but I just can't see us not conceding. So I think I would edge towards 3-1.
3-1, okay. Woody, what's the score of the game you're going to go and watch tomorrow?
Well, now you've told me that they haven't fucking won in 150 games.
I'm sorry, mate.
I think we'll edge it. I don't think it's going to be far-fetched. I'm going 2-1.
2-1, okay. I will. We've got a 3-0 prediction from Sam. Sean's saying 2-0 Town. Alex is here. Evening, Alex says 4-3. We can ask our visitor, our guest, his prediction as well. It's been a while since we welcomed him onto FRI. Evening, Liam.
Evening,
Liam. Guys, you're all very confident, aren't you?
Yeah.
Scott says 0-10. Hashtag blame Woody.
Yeah. Who are you playing? Did you say Harrogate?
Harrogate away. Yeah. Sorry, Harrogate away.
Harrogate away. Oh, so you just down road from me.
Guess what Liam's doing tomorrow night?
You should go, Liam. You should go. Give us a match report.
I can. I'm doing Bradford Park Avenue.
Oh yeah.
So, but I'll go. I'll back the 3. No, I'll go 3-1. I think they'll score, but I think you'll win. You should do.
You've been messaging me during tonight's show, Liam. You're very excited about one of our new additions, and apparently, and you have assured me it's broadcastable, that there is a chant that you want Swindon fans to be singing for our new edition, but it requires some audience participation.
Yeah, and I think Woody knows what the chant is. I believe Woody's been sent the chant, so I can't take credit for this, but I think it's brilliant, and I don't think the person who sent it wanted to put it out themselves. So they obviously sent it to someone that they thought was loud-mouthed enough to do it. And I said, you know what, I'm going to try and get on FRI and do it. Woody, you know what I'm talking about, right?
If it's the one I've been sent, then yes, I do now, yeah.
Right, so it needs all of you to participate. So you're happy to clap along?
Yeah.
Sure.
Right, okay. So I'll do it slow so we can all get the timing right.
What's the tune to so we know where to clap?
Oh, you don't need the first line. Will give you the tune.
You'll know the tune. Okay, are we all ready? Have we got our clapping hands ready?
Do you want to go on solo layout?
No.
No. Just put you in the middle so you can see all the clapping.
Okay, right, you ready? If you've got Junior Hoylett, clap your hands. If you've got Junior Hoylett, clap your hands. If you've got Junior Hoylett and a camera in the toilet, if you've got Junior Hoylett, clap your hands. Yeah, I can imagine the county ground belting that out. It'll be great. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. That's possibly the greatest chant that's going to come to League Two this season.
I don't know if Fife wants to post it, but there was a fantastic joke earlier that someone posted.
Hang on. Clip that. We're
Clip
getting
that.
used to the. We're getting So me and Woody have found out that now we get 4 AI clips an episode, and if we want it to specifically pick them, we say clip that at the end, and it'll do the previous 20 seconds.
Does it do that?
I
never knew.
So occasionally, people are now starting to notice me and Woody just shouting "clip that" during an episode, but I've said it 3 times now.
Well, there you go.
We did a 4-hour episode earlier, and it just ended up me and someone playing Worms Armageddon.
Well, that's because you switched off before I finished work. I was all ready to join you.
We went until 20 to 8.
Oh, I went on X. It said it finished. Like, it wasn't showing us live anymore, so I didn't bother.
Went on till about 20 to 8. We were on till. It was quite fun, though. To be fair, it's been I think it's been a better transfer window or transfer deadline day than people.
Yeah, it has. It's been more fun today.
Yeah, it's been.
I've not been stressed. Yeah, it's been no stress. Usually there's stress.
Tranmere have been busy. Bristol Rovers have been busy.
Tranmere have been very.
Have you been
busy.
across
Bristol
League Two, Liam?
Yeah, Bristol Rovers have been very, very busy. There's been a bit of a kick-off in the Bradford ranks because Tommy Lee's gone on loan there, and his first comment is, "It's always nice to go to a club where you feel welcome." Yeah, but he weren't made to feel welcome with us like that. This is the thing. But from our perspective, people kicking off. You look at the signings that have left. Pretty much everyone's gone to League Two, so it kind of shows that maybe they aren't ready to step up. What's that say? I'm on my phone, so it's a bit quiet. Mullin and Jackson.
It says Mullin and Jackson recently signed for Bradford. What's it like having 2 ex-Swindon strikers, Liam? It's strange having it the other way round. Yeah,
I like one of them.
Yeah, you were very happy signing Mullin, weren't you?
Do you know what? It's like it isn't the player that irritates me. It's the Wrexham of it. I think if he'd never gone for Wrexham, I'd feel different. But no, the arrogance that came with that Wrexham team when they came into League Two, I can't get past it. And it's like even on Saturday, don't get me wrong, he played well on Saturday when he came on. I will say though, so my dad's an Ipswich fan. The second we signed Caden Jackson, I rang him. I was like, look, be honest, like, what's he like? He said in League One, superb. And he played on Saturday and he was absolutely probably the best player on the pitch. So I'm excited with Caden Jackson.
Yeah, he was decent at Ipswich, wasn't he? He was very good.
Promotion, wasn't it? Back to back with him to the Premier League.
Yeah, I always rated him. Good player.
He won that Samsung Be a Pro thing for you, didn't he?
Yeah, but he never got a game with us.
No. But do you know what? He's from Bradford. He's a Bradford lad.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I didn't know until the time. He's a Bradford lad, so he said he's always wanted to come and play, which makes sense. And he came on Saturday, and we obviously got one over Doncaster. There was quite a lot of controversy in the game. I suppose we'll hear about whether that's going to get dealt with by the EFL in the next few days. But
don't worry, if it's got anything to do with the EFL, they'll delay it by a week because the fucking charlatans, the lot of them.
Did you hear what happened?
I didn't hear anything over Ian Holloway shouting for the last 48 hours.
So, Grant McCann's denied this tonight. However, Sky picked it up because the game was obviously live. Sky picked it up at the time and were talking about it during the game. And Bradford City have been tweeting about it, making jokes about it. So we scored. Caden Jackson scored about 20 minutes in, and don't get me wrong, it were a handball. Ball comes in, it kind of hits his arm, bounces down, he plays it into net. 100% handball. Referee didn't see it, linesman didn't see it. Fourth official calls the ref over and disallows it. Sky picked up on the fourth official being called over by Grant McCann and watching the replay on their iPad, and then calling the referee.
Oh, you can't do that. You can't do that.
No, so essentially we got VAR to have a goal on Saturday. But even if he hadn't watched it over the iPad, he's not, the fourth official doesn't have the power to overrule. So yeah, it's a strange one. So we'll see what happens. But the club tweeted out when we signed Wheatley tonight, when they showed some of his highlights, they were like best viewed on an iPad. So they were having digs. But Grant McCann also announced we'd signed Wheatley last week. Do you know what I mean? We didn't announce him till today. So he announced that as well. He just a couple of little.
I seen the crafty tweet from Bradford, wasn't it? They crossed out. Gareth is pleased. Grant McCann is pleased to announce, and then it's crossed out.
Yeah, because and I just, do you know what? Like Dolly fans are saying, because they had a fans forum tonight, they're saying, well, Grant McCann says it didn't happen. I'm like, do you think Grant McCann would sit there and go, yeah, we showed off official iPad and he just would they balls? Like, why would they do that? But Hannah was watching on Sky. And that's how she found out, because they were talking about it on Sky. So there's something in it. Whether it all happens, not bothered. We got the win anyway. It was nice to get the win over them, and Tyreek Wright got the goal, and he needed a goal. So yeah, look, it's been a strange transfer window. I mean, is this the first time in a few years you've not signed a Bradford player?
Well, might be actually.
Yes. Yeah. We have had but speaking of Bradford players and signings, you can't come on without someone wanting to ask you a question. Scott says, what's Liam's ops on where JY ended up?
So it was, who was it who told me? Was it you, Fife?
No, I certainly wouldn't have told you. No. Someone
told me about the rumor, and I text Jake and I just said St. Mirren, and he with question marks, and he just went, how the fuck have you found that out? I was like, well, people talk, don't they? And do you know what? For him, he had a rough time at Stevenage. I think he didn't really do what he wanted to do. He seems happy enough. Got red carded on Saturday for going through Brad Halliday. I saw that. He went through Brad
Halliday, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
He got red card. Do you know what? It was VAR that got him as well. And it's like, obviously they've never played with VAR before, so VAR got him after the fact. He's gone through Brad Halliday and got sent off. And yeah, there's been some weird ones. Do you know what? I think to put yourself in the shop window, as much as people laugh at like the SPL and stuff, it is a shop window, and it's a bigger platform than what we've got in League 1 and 2. Regardless of what the quality of football's like, it gets better coverage. So
the Junior Hoylets come from Scotland to Swindon, so it's a prime example right there.
So it works. You know, you want to come down to Swindon, don't you? Do you remember last year though? Do you remember last year when you guys couldn't attract people because of the distance?
Yeah, I know. That's hilarious, isn't it?
Yeah. No, do you know what? You've had a strong window. I think the rumours about Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain were brilliant. When they came in earlier, people saying it was going to be Oxlade-Chamberlain because it's a former international who's looking to get into his World Cup squad. I'm like, I don't think Thomas Tuchel will be looking around League 2 for players that have dropped.
Well, to be fair, we were debating on my way home. I saw the messages in the car, and I rejoined the chat while I was sat at some traffic lights. We were debating the who would start if we had Oldacre challenged by Oxlade-Chamberlain, Jesse Lingard, and Dele Alli as our attacking midfielders. It was a tough set of options. Yeah,
it wouldn't be Oldacre out of those four. But yeah, no. Do you know what? It's been a weird season so far. Like a really weird season. Walsall have done a Walsall again.
Oh, they're doing it again. Yeah.
Yeah, and
well, I don't want to pressure you, given that you're on a Swindon Town themed podcast, but you know us well enough. Now that the transfer window is firmly slammed shut, Bristol Rovers and Tranmere have signed every player available to man. What three are going up to I say join you? You might not be in League 1 next year. You could go up yourselves, but should you not, who's joining you in League 1 next year?
I only think I know two of them.
Okay.
I think Bromley will, and I think Bromley deserved to, and I think Salford finally will. And I said it when they were like 7th or 8th. I said I think Salford. I think this is Salford's year.
I would have agreed with you until they signed Princeville today, and now I think their chances have gone Drop out the window.
I don't think they're done though. If that
There's
makes
another
sense.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's another
they
signing.
haven't announced their 1.2 million pound signing of Aaron Drinnen yet.
No, so Drinnen was purely to test waters. So Drinnen was a backup for their main target. They've got a target that they wanted.
Is that Longstaff?
As far as I know, Macaulay Langstaff was one, and I know Millwall have brought in a few players, so it could be that he has gone and they've just not announced it yet. But so I think the Drinnen thing was them just testing the waters at different clubs to see what players were at. But it were no, I don't think it was a. I mean, it was a big offer, but I don't think it was a. Like I want to say about 400 grand the tester.
There was two apparently. Yeah, there's two offers.
Yeah, I think it was like 250, then 400, and I think it was just testing the waters to see what had happened. But yeah, no, Langstaff seems to be the one that they wanted. Whether or not they've got it done, I don't know. But I think they've got someone else. I think given the way, I mean, they've thrown money about. Like they have got some big money spent this window. They didn't spend a lot on that Graydon that people think they spent, but wages wise, I think they've spent quite a lot. And he's on quite a decent whack for League Two. So for me, they have to go up, and I think they will. I think they've kept hold of Kelly Namai. There were absolutely no rumours of them losing Kelly Namai this window.
Player.
Yeah, I think for them, I think they'll do it this season. But I think I'm quite excited to see Bromley go up. If they go up, I think I want to say they've done it the right way. If that makes sense, like they've come up, they've not splashed the cash, they've not gone out and made marquee signings. They've just got a very, very good, hard to beat team, and they know what they're good at, and they know what they're not good at, and they play to the strengths, and they don't play into the weaknesses. So I think that's it. And then I think the rest of you are fighting for third place, and I don't know who it's going to be.
You want it to be us, though, don't you? You want it.
Oh, it'd be great if it were you guys.
Yeah, Bradford, Swindon again.
I don't know.
Swindon, all that.
I don't know what it is about a deadline day episode, but we've got Liam back on our screens. We've got Tim back in the chat, giving it the big one for Oxford. Look forward to smashing you next year as well.
Oh, I can't wait for the derby next season.
But now, and Liam, I don't know if you've heard this. I don't expect you to stay either, because I know you've got other things to do. But as we go into injury time on this Monday night episode, it's time for everyone's favourite jingle. Oh wait, no, that's only on a Friday. We need a Monday one, Woody. I can't play pick of the week on a Monday. Let's just review. Well, do you know what? Liam hasn't heard it. Let's just play it anyway. We play this on a Friday for when Woody gives us the women's football roundup.
Woody's Women's Football Pick of the Week. Bassett, Swindon, a caution to see. One big match, the spotlight's clear. Your fixture focus starts right here. Woody's Pick of the Week.
And then the harsh ending. The
Yeah.
solid ending.
That needs like a Fuller House entrance, like video, like crossed with Baywatch, like Woody running down the beach, and then like cut into Woody with like a family, like a really cheesy smile around the table, like as they're all eating their evening meal. Yeah, we could get that running, like Woody with the thing under his arm and running across the beach. That's what it gave me, them sort of vibes there. I like it. I do like it.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking Woody should just go. Woody's pick. Yeah, I think it should be Woody's pick of the week, and he should just go Bassett, and then the credits. That was Woody's pick of the week. It just says one team. I think that'd be quite good.
Anyway, Woody, catch us up on what happened this weekend.
And now I'm going to let myself down because I have no idea how Caution got on.
Well, Steve, what you should do is just message me and say that and talk about Swindon first. I
want to be honest. I want to be honest. Yeah, obviously Swindon was the big upset for pick of the week. I guess it was my pick of the week. Losing to Maidenhead without scoring as well is quite a big feat for a team that have won every game this year in the league. I wasn't I think I said on Friday that Maidenhead were going to be they are a bit of a tricky customer. They're not, they are mid-table, but and they seem to be drawing up the Maidenhead that I used to know when I was involved at that level. So it's very difficult to beat, and they proved it. I think they snatched a goal in the second half, and so it'll be interesting now, because obviously that means that it's only one win in 4 for Rich Wood's side. So yeah, that's we'll have to wait and see what happens on next weekend. I'm going to guess that Caution beat Brislington. Bassett was called off.
Bassett was called off.
I'm going to guess that Caution beat Brislington, but then we didn't have Rich in our chat telling us how good they all were. So
no.
Let me have a look. Let's have a quick look. Speak amongst yourselves, please.
Caution haven't posted anything about it, which normally tells you it hasn't gone well.
Oh my God, they lost.
Normally means they're going to sack a manager when a club don't say, "Oh."
They lost. Okay, they lost.
Fuck off.
No, they did. They lost. Oh, I should have asked Cara tonight. Yeah, apparently they lost 4-2, so that's why Rich was quiet. I had no idea about that. Wow. So a weekend of shocks for our teams then. Bassett actually had a home game called off, which never happens. And Caution lost to, well, I think it was a cup game, but
it was a cup game.
Lost to what are near bottom of the league, if not bottom of the league, Brislington. And Maidenhead. Maybe not the biggest shock of the weekend wasn't Maidenhead Swindon, because of Maidenhead not being bad at home. But yeah, so not a good weekend for women's football, I guess.
A great all-around weekend, really. Really, just everything you wanted there, wouldn't it? I think you're very, very happy that Fifey brought it up.
Everything I wanted. I thought you were talking about Rich being quiet in the chat.
Can I ask you guys a question then? Because you guys obviously in League 2, but like the clubs that are in League 1 down that bottom end, who do you think the 4 are that are going to drop?
Burton cost me 60 quid because they drew Cardiff over the weekend. That really annoyed me.
Burton rejected 3 offers for Tyrese Sade from Championship clubs.
They rejected a massive bid from us for Beasley.
Beasley's quite good, isn't he?
I mean, well, he's only had one good half season, hasn't he? But I suppose it's that thing of if he's found his form, he's found his form. But
sorry, carry on.
No, I was just going to say, I think Burton will stay up, mate. I think Burton will be all right.
The thing is, the bottom of League 1 is extraordinarily tight. It's like the top of League 2. I mean, if you're unfamiliar, this is working from the bottom. Port Vale 21, Northampton 29, Doncaster 30, Burton 31, Rotherham 31, Wigan 31, Leyton Orient 32, Wimbledon 32, Blackpool 32. That takes you from 24th to 16th.
Are we going to have a similar situation to the Championship? Was it last season or the season before where, like, with 3 games to go or whatever, there was like 15 teams that could go up or down? It's like,
I think so. Donny have got Burton tomorrow. It's a massive game for them, Donny and Burton. But Doncaster have just signed Elliot Lee from Wrexham. However, he's not played this season, so I don't know what he's going to be like. But I think if Donny lose that tomorrow to Burton, I think Donny will go down. I think Port Vale are down regardless. I think Port Vale are done.
If we're basing it on Swindon going up, if we're basing it to Swindon go up, then selfishly, I want Port Vale, Northampton, Burton, and Blackpool to all stay up. 3 because they're close to me, and 1 because fools love a Blackpool away day.
Oh, yeah.
Liam, how far's Bradford from Blackpool?
About an hour and a half.
Fancy coming to Blackpool away with us next year? We had a great time at Fleetwood.
If I'm free, yeah, then I'll definitely go. If you get up and they're still up, Blackpool will stay up. I think the 4 to go down are going to be Port Vale, Northampton, Rotherham, and Doncaster at the minute. Doncaster were not on Saturday, like we are bang out of form, by the way. We are bang out of form. We're barely creating chances. Last week against Lincoln, we recorded our lowest ever XG since they started recording XG. We have been bang out of form. I think our XG was like 0.02. And we beat them 1-0. And we never looked like losing. And Donny are on good form. I think they'd won 4 on bounce and they'd scored like an average of 3 goals a game or something. So for me, when I was watching it, they've signed Elliot Lee and they're like, oh, we're going to stay up now. I don't think that Elliot Lee, I don't think they were one player away from being a team to stay up. So I think that Donny will go down. I think Rotherham will go down, although they've made 4 or 5 signings today. But yeah, I think Northampton and Port Vale are guaranteed at this point for me. Port Vale especially. Port Vale's nailed on. You give your manager a 5-year deal and then sack him 6 months into it. Well done.
No, we kind of need Northampton to potentially stay up though, because how good would it be if there's MK Dons, Northampton, and Peterborough all in the same league as well?
Well, that's for you, Mike. That would be really good.
Northampton's a good one to go to. Only just
we like a Northampton away day as well.
Well, they've got that 5 guys, haven't they?
I've never had a good day at Northampton. Never. We played them on a Friday night once, and I remember going down at coach, and there was traffic all the way down, and it was horrific. And we drew 0-0. And yeah, so I'm not a fan of Northampton. I've got nothing but bad memories of it. So yeah, those 4 can go down. So if Bromley come up, Salford come up, and then what, 2 others? I'm not saying. Look, I don't know. Because it is a thing. Like, you've signed Junior Hoylett, right? And I think on paper, great signing. Is it going to work? Don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. He's 35.
That's the thing, but he's got a point to prove, and he wants to get into it's Canada, isn't it? He wants to get into that Canada squad. Yeah. So
we love a Canadian at our football.
But yeah, but with somebody like that, he's not coming in as our number 1 striker, is he?
No,
so
he's not.
He's not. We're not signing him to him to win the league.
Not dislodging Palmer, that's for sure.
He's got Brennan, Holman, and Palmer in front of him.
Yeah, we didn't talk about Palmer. Had a really. He played really well. I know I've been not his biggest fan, but he played really well on Saturday. Thought he had a decent game.
Well, look,
do you think he'd have agreed to sign, though? Do you think he'd have agreed to sign for you if he wasn't going to be playing? Because if he wants to get into that World Cup squad, he's not going to sign for a club where he's not going to play.
Yeah, but I can't see Holloway guaranteeing anybody to play with the way.
He will get some game time because Holloway rotates all the time. He will get game because Holloway he rotates. He does his stack and rack of his strikers. He rotates them all the time. And even they don't even play 90 minutes. He'll fuck about with them all the time. Then he plays guaranteed to start, finishes Brennan.
We've gone wildly off topic here. I still have one more before I want to let you go and enjoy the rest of your Monday nights. We've so far managed to avoid discussing Ian Holloway's post-match from Saturday.
I love it.
Suddenly Liam's ready to stay on and chat a bit more as well.
I think it was nonsense.
What do we all think? Because I mean, I've been discussing it with a few people at work who obviously aren't that interested in Swindon, but I've played them the clip and I said, usually I'm the one that and Waz will know because me and Wazza have debated this at times. I'm usually the one that calls a lot of what Holloway out and says, look, it's just a bit of nonsense at this point. Like, I'd rather he did a serious. I actually agree with him. I can understand why he was pissed.
I can't.
I think, well, just get the gist of it. It's the equivalent of, because the Portland said Clark could play, so they played him, and then the FA goes, well, no, you can't play them, you should have checked the handbook. And he's like, well, the Portland said he can play, that's the point of him playing. And then the FA banned Clark from playing at 5 p.m. the day before Saturday, the evening before Saturday, when he's prepared the game with Clark in it. If you'd have gone, right, you can't play Tuesday, that would have been probably a little bit better. Now, the FA have admitted some sort of blame because the fine's only 1,000. So I can see where he's coming from. I don't think that quite exploding the way he did helps the cause at all. But I can see why he's pissed if that's the case.
Was?
Yeah, I can see it. I just think in my personal opinion of it, is why did we play Clark in the competition anyway? I would have just been like, I would have much preferred Clark to play at Bromley on Saturday, and yeah, and if it's turned out that he was suspended for the Luton game, which is what he was, I was kind of like to the point where he didn't need to play him anyway. But that's just my view on the competition. But about Holloway's run, he was never going to let them get away with, you know what I mean? He's going to be in trouble for this probably. But he's just one of those who've just come out of the game where we've won and his emotions are raw, aren't they? And we've won the game in the last 10, 15 minutes. And it was always going to happen, I feel. He's just that passionate manager. And I think it's probably brought a few more of the fans that were maybe a bit unsure about him, because there are still a few. And it showed that he does care, because he has called out at times and made it look like, does he really care or what he's about? But he does properly care. And it's one of them with Holloway. I wasn't massively surprised by it. I don't think anyone really should be, because it's just it's the way he is. It's the character that he is. But
we know it's another one that's going to get a delayed decision on what sort of final punishment Holloway's going to get, because well, you guys will know. I didn't send it to you, Liam, obviously, but I'm sure you would have seen the clip as well. He's not the only manager to speak up this weekend. David Moyes was having none of it as well. He got booked for celebrating Everton's last-minute goal, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I may be paraphrasing slightly, he said, imagine getting fucking booked for that.
Yeah.
In his post-match press conference, Nick. So the FA are going to be busy with the experienced 1,000-plus club, aren't they?
They are. I mean, with regards to Holloway, I don't disagree with anything he said, but I think if he'd have been more measured in the way he delivered it, I think it would have been hit better. To rant and shout like he did, I don't think that did him or us any favours. The content was fine, and he knew that was all planned. That wasn't just him suddenly going off because he'd been.
It wasn't
poked.
even the answer to that question.
No, he wanted to do that, which is fair enough. But I think he would have been, if he'd have done it in a more measured manner, I think that would have been a better outcome. But with David Moyes, the funny bit, I mean, he was fair play. He was struggling to run down the line, and he said, he said if he was a bit more agile, he'd have done a knee slide, which I thought was a cracking comment.
And then Jack Grealish came out afterwards, retweeted the interview, just put, what a legend.
I didn't see that. Oh, fair play.
Woody, what's your take on Mr. Holloway?
I found it funny, to be totally honest. I kind of sentiment. I agree with the lad. Some of the lads. I think as silly as it looks, and apparently it made its way all the way over to the New York Times as well. But the
but
radio,
even I've been in the New York Times.
Yeah, so I don't know. I often think to myself, what would I be like? And I've gone on, not obviously to the live stations that he has, but I've gone on major rants about bad FA. Not even the bad FA decision. It's more the time it's taken. For such something that they and actually, to be fair, I'd almost be offended if somebody said to me, just look in the handbook, because it's taken them so long to come up with this decision. Yet they come up with a stupid phrase like "go look in the handbook," and I said it on the original thing. I do get what people are saying. Why should we have played Ollie Clark in the first place, etc., etc. I kind of get that, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of shit that needs to be sorted out, because for me, if he couldn't play in that competition, it should count towards his suspension. And it didn't, and it wouldn't have. So he's actually suspended for potentially 9 games, not 7 games. And I don't think the FA should just pick and choose which games are considered first team competitive fixtures and not, and then put you under that. So I kind of get it. And also and I said it before, people can look back at my rant about it before. These procedures are put in place to make people's lives easier. When the FA first brought out all of these portals, they brought out loads at the same time, They put all of the managers in one room, and in fact, I actually looked at it. I found a slideshow that they showed when they first introduced the WGS, which grassroots coach would be familiar to. And the first thing they said is, it's in line with our ambition to make your lives easier. So to come out with an absolute insult to say, you checked the portal. Oh, did you not think of checking the handbook as well? Like, I just think that's an insult, and I think that's an embarrassment to the FA as much as it is to the club. But yeah, for me, it's a timely thing. And even, I think, there's a lot of incompetence here. The fact that they're taking so long for the EFL trophy to be decided as well, given the fact that the game is meant to be played next Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I 100% agree, probably even more, why he's angry with the being told at 5 o'clock on a Friday night that you can't use that player the following day. Now, I know somebody said it to me at work today to say, well, what's the difference between somebody getting injured or stomach ache on a Friday night? That's a controllable. That's something that is in the club's remit. Whereas to be told on a Friday night, I just think
victimised.
and especially when it's such a small. It was a 1 game extra ban, and it was a small fine. The FA have basically put the smallest penalty they can onto this. That's what they've done. They wanted to put a point in there. Yeah, and I want a proper statement. If I was Ian Holloway, I would want a proper statement from the FA as to how they've come to this decision, because for me, a small fine like that and a 1 match ban, I think Ben made a good point on Twitter that maybe Swindon had a point, maybe one of their points was proven, but it's either Swindon's fault or it's not. This wasn't a grey area in the middle. It's either Swindon have done wrong or the FA have done wrong. It can't be, let's suspend a player again because you made a mistake. It's got to be, FA have done wrong or Swindon have done wrong. And if Swindon have done wrong, that fine would have been more than £1,000 if it was solely at Swindon's door. So yeah, that's me on it anyway, before I get around. But yes, I do agree. I think Nick said, I do agree. Maybe the method of kind of almost absolutely poor old Andrew Halls is probably there thinking, like that meme where they're just getting spit all over their face. Yeah. He's probably just sat there like that. But yeah, so I do think maybe, but I understand why he's angry. I'll be brutally honest. I do understand it.
And last word then from an outsider, Liam.
I think it were nonsense. Do you know what? Like, it were funny. However, Ian Holloway's managed over 1,000 games. The rules haven't changed.
Oh, you've heard that as well, have you?
Yeah, the portal might have changed, or the way that things are done might have changed. The rules haven't changed. You're not telling me that in Ian Holloway's 1,000 plus games, he hasn't had a player banned and he hasn't known what they're banned in. Nothing's changed in that sense. Holloway knew he was banned. What he did was looked on a portal and thought he'd found a loophole, and that is an Ian Holloway thing to a T. He thought he'd found a loophole and tried to use it, and it didn't work. And that's what's happened. But the thing that got me about his interview, when he said, you need to take a look at yourselves, right back at you, because he knows what he's done. He knows he's tried to find a loophole to get around something, because, like I say, this is not the first time he's had a player banned for a long period of time. There's no way that he did not know that he could not play. It has been brought on by either the club secretary or Ian himself. Something has happened, and the initial blame falls at the door of Swindon Town. The timing, maybe the timing wasn't great. I don't know what took them so long. I don't know why it got to that point where it was Friday, but the fact is, I know what you're saying. Like, it would have been a bigger fine if it was Swindon's fault, but the small fine might be because the punishment is bigger when you get thrown out of the competition, because that's going to be announced this week, isn't it? They don't know if that's going to happen. That's not been decided yet. That could be the bigger punishment. That could be why that the fine's not so big, because the punishment is that you're going to lose your place in the competition. I don't know, but Ian Holloway knew that he could not play. I don't care what he says. He knew he could not play. Blaming a portal when you've managed for over 1,000 games, you know what is right and what is wrong. No's changed in the rules. He knew that he could not play in that game. He thought he found a loophole, and unfortunately, he's been caught out with it. And that's, for me, that's the way it is.
So Liam, I do agree to a certain extent, but then if that is a loophole, bearing in mind if you find a loophole, you found a loophole. If that is a loophole, why doesn't it count towards his suspended games?
I don't know. I can't.
That's what I mean.
That's
the question I would be posing back. If he's not allowed to play in that fixture, they are considering that a first team fixture, so he should be suspended, because he wasn't suspended from all footballing activity, just domestic competitions. So yeah, I
But then
think
that is a domestic competition. That
but it
answers
didn't
the
count.
question.
But he's not.
Yeah, but
But
that's the
he
point.
wasn't suspended from it. He wasn't.
It's-
As in, it wouldn't have counted towards his suspension, and we would have been able to. I think would have been able to use him against Bromley. Is that right?
Yeah.
Somebody else correct me on here if I'm wrong.
That's right, yeah.
So yeah, it's yeah.
It's
I
a
think
unique suspension as well. It's unique because it's not one that you've seen before, because it's like it had to go to a special commission to get him suspended, and the way it was done, because it wasn't. Usually, when you get a red card in a football match, straight red card, you get 3-game ban. But Drilling's done it this season where he's been allowed to play in the Virtue Paint. He scored a hat-trick against MK Dons whilst being suspended. But with Clark, he wasn't. So I understand why there's a grey area. So he checked out and the ball went, yeah, he can play. So he's gone.
Would you not have asked
maybe he should have checked up. Yeah, he should have possibly rang someone up.
The question should have been asked rather than just assuming and thinking that you found something, because it literally said he's banned from all domestic competitions, and that is a domestic football competition. If he wasn't going to count towards his ban, then the question needs to be asked. It doesn't just need to be, oh well, we'll just play him, because that's when
didn't it say tier 1? Didn't it say tier 1 matches?
It's tier 1,
and the Virtue isn't.
So basically, this is. I mean, I do this in HR all the time. So basically, what it is the FA realised they fucked up their documentation, and they're basically saying you should have checked this, even though we were talking a governing body that have rake in millions and millions of pounds and pay compliance fees of thousands and thousands of pounds, and their paperwork is wrong, and they're too afraid to admit it. That's what it is, like whether it's Swindon or not. Because if we get, I mean, I know that's an EFL decision about the trophy, but I would be kicking off my shit if we get kicked out when you've got Shrewsbury playing a player that wasn't even registered to the club, and they still managed to. They just got a little fine on it. It's like.
But do you not think that Holloway's reaction will probably sway their decision as well?
It's not.
It's not doing you any favours, has it? He could have just been quiet, waited until the decision's done, and then had his rant if he wanted to have his rant. But
also, I think Wazza alluded to it. It's actually quite clever as well, because that kind of rant, especially in the football environment, ramps up a fan base. So if we do get kicked out now, it is that generally it will turn into that. It will turn into that fuck the FL mentality, and then you'll be like, that siege mentality will start to happen. So I don't think he's. I think he maybe didn't mean to go as off as he did, but I think the anger that he expressed was probably a bit of a PR stunt of his 1,000 games experience, to try and get the fans that, like Wazza said, that aren't too sure, to get them behind him, because that is his character.
Well, look, if you are travelling to the game tomorrow, travel safe, be loud, be proud, and let's see if we can now put a winning run together and make it successive wins ahead of the home game with Oldham on Saturday lunchtime. If you do see Woody and Joe around, by all means, go say hi, send us pics of them. Everything else that we always say at away games. Go on, Liam.
Woody, have you had a pie at Harrogate yet?
I had a pork pie last time I was up there.
Well, go for I think it's the meat and tit. Go for the proper pie. Unbelievable.
Right,
best pie in EFL.
Noted.
There we go.
The pork pie was decent, to be fair.
Yeah, they are good pies.
And like I say, travel safe, be loud, be proud, as we all get together and say, come on, you Reds. We will be back on Friday to discuss everything that happens tomorrow. I didn't leave that one up very long. Sorry, Thomas. We'll be back on Friday to discuss everything that happens tomorrow and preview all of the weekend's actions. From myself, Woody, Nick, Ben, Wazza, everyone at FRI HQ, and the man Liam from Lower League Look. Have a fantastic week, everyone, and we will see you again on Friday. Good night.
Fools rush in! Yeah, we're back again. like mates down the pub. Heart on sleeve, never tame. Yeah. From the chanting in the stands to the tackles flying in. Home and away, red blood, white shirt, where the fools rush in. Passion, debate, slaps, rants, late nights, Woody Bear, Nick Rich, Walter Kieran side by side, Craig and Ned, Joe and Mark, Art, Gar, Gary in the dark, and now we got Barry in. Yeah, the gang's all in.
Fools rushing like we're chasing one more win. We'll make you laugh, make you cry, feel happy, feel angry inside. Fools rushing like a last minute swing, just like back in Swindon's time.
We go up, we fall down. From the goals that lift the roof, unit grows when it goes wide. We argue, we agree, but you're all here on the ride. Fight by jumping in the chat, every story, every stat. Thank you for watching, for listening, commenting back. Save our tires on the border, that's recruitment in our corner. This is our club, our crowd, turn it up a little louder.
Fools rushing like we're chasing one more win. We'll make you laugh, make you cry, feel happy, feel angry inside. Fools rushing like a last minute swing, just like back in Swindon time.
We go up, we fall down. Fools rushing.